everyone, welcome to my Amy Answers Q&A number 4. And the first question is by Cry Love. Hello Amy, I wanted to ask you what you think of the kimono bag and the Siena I will get my first LV at the end of February, but I cannot decide between those two. I only know from some reviews that the Siena when you wear it crossbody, the sides are bending. I hope you know what I mean. Thank you and greetings from Germany. So this is a Coach bag that is similar, not exactly the same design obviously, but it's kind of similar concept to this. You know, you have a zipper top opening and it's a crossbody bag. So what happens with this is that when I wear it crossbody, the two sides here tends to hug my body, and I think that's what you mean by bending. And I think it's totally normal just because that's the design of the bag. I think it's supposed to sort of have that flexibility to hug your body versus, you know, being a brick and then staying that way. I also know that because it's a canvas bag, it does, you know, it will do that over time. I think that the design is really cute and I think it's very functional, like just with comparing with my own bag, which of course I'm comparing it as a similar design. The zipper opening is very large, even the PM size, very large opening. You know, you can see everything. There's a couple compartments inside the pockets and then the main compartment obviously. So I've really enjoyed using, well, my Coach bag, which I think is similar design again. But like you said, the bending will happen just because of the material and just how they put those straps on the side like this over here. So if you wear crossbody a lot, it will do that. Obviously I do not have the kimono, but I did look at it at the store as well. So I'm just gonna use my Kensington as an example. When I was trying the kimono, so the handle was also the rolled handle, so it was pretty comfortable on the shoulder. The only thing that I noticed is that it tends to, well, sometimes it tends to fall out, one of the strap. And also the second thing is, because the kimono is kind of like a structured bag, what you're left with is a lot of bulk on the side, like underneath your armpit. And it's not a bag that you can just swing to the back. Like, look at my bag right now. It just doesn't work because of its structure and because it's not like the Neverfull where you can just swing the whole bag in the back of you and then you can forget about it and it's still really close to your body, because the bag has it's so structured and has some sort of width to it, and the rigidness of the handles, when you put it on your shoulder, the only way you can wear it is really like this. So unless you're comfortable with having your bag the whole time like this and having some sort of width here, which also depends on what you put, then that might be something that you might want to consider. If you're looking for the wow factor or like exclusivity of a bag, because I don't think a lot of people have the kimono. If you're a person who likes to wear your bag in the crook of your arm or just by holding it with your hands and occasionally on your shoulder just for hands-free temporarily, then I think it's such a gorgeous bag to have, and if you can afford it, I definitely say yes to that. Whereas the Siena, in my opinion, is a very practical bag, has a very generous opening, and the fact that you can be totally hands-free by having it crossbody. Obviously the main advantage of the Siena is that not only it is carefree, but it's very secure because it zips shut, everything stays inside, even if it's upside down. With the kimono, you have to be a little bit more careful. Now, I do think that the Siena is more a bag that you buy, which is meant to be used a lot, whereas the kimono to me is a bag that you buy, that you use preciously, that you are careful using, but it's just so stunning to look at. So they're so different. Gwen de Vera, is the petit noe comfortable on the shoulders? Because when I wear a shoulder bag, it always slipping off my shoulder. I'm deciding to get whether a petit noe or a noe BB. In my opinion, the noe line has the best and the most comfortable shoulder straps of all my LV bags. I just think that the butteriness of the vachetta and I guess the thickness and the width, all that kind of plays together to give you the most comfort when you wear it on your shoulder. But with the petit, what I tend to do is once I have it on my shoulder, then I swing it to the back, and it's really comfortable this way. Like, it doesn't get in the way, it doesn't, you know, it's just super comfortable. And the fact that once you put things inside, because right now it's so empty that obviously it will fall off my shoulder really easily. But if you have some weight in the back, once you put things in it, the weight will kind of push this down and then it will stay put on your shoulders. So that's how that prevents it to fall off my shoulder. And also I tend to like to just swing it to the back, and it's just really comfortable to wear, in my opinion. Now obviously if you want to get the Noe Bebe, it's even more secure, as in it won't fall off your shoulder as easily, just because you'll most likely be wearing it crossbody most of the time. So I guess it depends on your preference. Now I chose the petit Noe because I didn't want another crossbody bag. I have my pochette metis for that, and I'm really happy with my pochette metis, and I just wanted a shoulder bag. Therefore I chose the petit Noe. I could have chosen the regular classic Noe as well. I just went for the smaller size because I thought it looked good with my frame. But I recommend both bags. I think it just depends on you. Are you looking for a crossbody bag, or are you looking more for a shoulder bag? Why I love fashion is asking how I clean my Speedy B25, because she is using baby wipes. So as I said before in my previous Q&A, I think it was number 2, I clean all my bags with just a simple soft cloth, the ones that are lint free, so microfiber cloth or whatnot, and water. You just want to dampen it a little bit, not super wet. As for the vachetta, you can also wipe down the vachetta. Now I don't really clean or treat my vachetta, as I said before. I do wait until it has some sort of patina, and especially if I start getting some water marks or raindrops on it and there's a lot of them, then I can wipe it down, you know, once in a while just to clean it. And that's the same thing I would do with my damier band bag, simply because treated leather already has a coating. It has a treatment on top of the leather. Therefore, wiping it down with water and a damp cloth is basically the easiest way to do. And canvas itself, the coated canvas, again, the coating, it's already treated. Therefore, you can just really easily wipe it down with a soft cloth and water. And that's the only way that I think that is necessary to clean your bags. Now, as far as using baby wipes, I don't have anything against that. If you look at the ingredients of a baby wipe, obviously there's multiple brands. There are some natural ones, there's some conventional ones. But in general, if you look at the ingredients of baby wipes, it has water, some sort of moisturizing agent, either some sort of oils or chemically derived agent that is moisturizing. And then depending on the brand, then they also add a bunch of chemicals, which are in a lot of conventional products like skincare products and whatnot. Now if you look at a very, very clean brand, they usually just have water and like sunflower seed oil. That's all they would put in it. So essentially it's the very same thing as using a wet cloth with water, because it's really the same thing. It's just minus the moisturizing ingredient, which I don't think the bag really needs it. I mean, I think there's nothing wrong with using it, but like I don't really think that a treated canvas or a treated leather really needs extra moisturization, because it's already treated, it's already protected in a sense. When you do use it on vachetta, I do think that the oil particles will patina the leather a lot faster. So as I said, because vachetta leather is raw, it basically will absorb anything you put on it, including water, any moisturizers, oils, whatnot. So I don't know, like I'm not saying it's bad to use baby wipes. I think it's okay, but you can save yourself some money just by using water and a soft cloth. Debbie Francesca is asking, may I know why you chose the zippy mid-skirt instead of the zippy coin purse? I am trying to look for a wallet to suit her Alma BB. So the reason why I went with the zippy mid-scalp instead of any other sort of clays or smaller wallets, it's just because I personally use cards most of the time. I have lots of cards, so not only my credit cards, bank cards, IDs obviously, and some loyalty cards. I have some medical cards, and usually if I'm in Canada, I just pay with credit card because I pay off my bill at the end of the month. So to me, it's not like I'm carrying credit or anything. That's just how I do things here. Now, if you're a person who prefers to carry cash or coins and some cards, then I do think that the zippy coin purse is very, very good for you, because the zippy coin purse does open up to an accordion style with 2 larger gusseted compartments where you can really fold your cash just in half and then have lots of coins in it, and also have a few card slots. So I do think that the zippy coin purse is very, very nice for that. It's just that personally I have mostly cards, and I prefer to have all my cards with me just in case I need them, and I find the zippy mid-scalp has been perfect for that, and I normally can slip, you know, a paper bill inside and it's totally fine as well. Why I love fashion, I noticed that the zippy of my Alma BB is not that smooth as the other bags. Does that happen to you? And yes, I have 2 Almas, so 1 PM and 1 BB, and they both sort of, because of their shape, right? It's the dome shape, and then depending on how stiff your leather is, my Alma BB, the leather is pretty stiff and thick, and also because the bag is smaller, so it tends to be easier to go down, but you still have some resistance, you know, and then you still kind of have to close one side at a time if you want the zippers to be in the middle. With my Alma PM though, because my bag is bigger and the epi leather is not as thick, I find that you do have to hold on to one side of the bag to open it and do the other side after that. So like, it's only because of the dome shape. If it was straight across, it would be a lot easier to open and close, but it's just because of the shape. And I find that the easiest way to sort of help a little bit is to run a little bit of wax on your zippers, and it will be a little bit smoother, but it's not something that you can just change just because that's just the shape of the bag, and you just have to open it and close it with a little bit more care and a little bit more time. Hi Amy, how are you? I watch your videos on the petit and I fell in love with the bag. I recently got it and I really love it. I haven't used it yet. I wanted to ask if you find the bag easy to use, especially when shopping. Do you still love it, or did the drawstring closure eventually become annoying? Thanks in advance. So, another question for my Noe. Yes, I still love the bag. I think, as I said, this is my most comfortable shoulder bag of my entire LV collection. As with the drawstring, it's not the easiest to get in and out, obviously, compared to the other bags, but it's also not very hard. Like, if you tie it the way that I do, which is in some sort of, I think this is some sort of like fisherman's knot or something. Just go watch my Noe video again just to see how I tie it. So if you do tie it like this, then it will be a little bit easier to get in and out, because every time you want to open it, you just slide it, and then every time you want to close it a bit, you just slide it back. Now over time it does loosen up the knot, so you just tie it back. Now, is this a feature that, you know, annoys me to the point where I do not like the bag anymore? It's not. Do I wish that it was, you know, less annoying? Yeah, a little bit, but I still really enjoy using it just because it's a totally different design, right? That's the whole, like, I guess the whole concept of a bucket bag is that you have a drawstring, and it, you know, if you're using a bucket bag or a petit, you're going for that look, you're going for, you know, this little detail, and then I don't think it's too hard to shop with this. In fact, I think it's actually pretty easy. You can fit a lot of things in it, and I think it looks really, really pretty. It has a different sort of vibe to it when you wear this bag, so I still really do love it. It just takes maybe a second or too longer to, you know, to sort of, you know, slowly open it up, look for your thing, and then take it out and then put it back in and close it. It sort of just take that little bit of extra time to do it compared to say you're never full or whatnot. But I still think that it's just as easy to use as any other bags. It's just different, if that makes sense. Black Dragon 482. Hi Amy, I watch your videos all the time and they're so wonderfully helpful. Thank you. I had a question for you. My pochette metis has a wavy corners on the bottom of the front pouch, and the canvas appears to have tension from the stitching so that it almost looks cracked. I brought it to my local LV store where the manager said the tension was normal due to having to wrap the canvas on itself, and told me simply to use the bag. I have never used it due to rainy weather since I purchased it in September. And see if it gets worse, as 400 people are waiting for this bag. I don't feel comfortable with this. What are your options in terms of quality control and secondary opinions? So this is the front corner of my bag. By the way, mine is the older version, which I think is the actual original version, because I do know for a fact, you know, after myself comparing to the versions they have now, that mine one has a way thicker canvas. It's way thicker and it's way stiffer. And in fact, it looks a little bit smaller in my opinion, just because the pockets themselves, they don't look quite as big. And they don't look quite as flexible either. But I still love it. So, okay, first things first. It does look a little bit wavy, you know, from my close-up earlier and just from me looking at it right now. And I understand that that's just something that will happen just because, like your manager said, it is, you know, the fabric is being sewn, so the stitching comes from the inside, and then they kind of like revert the bag so that the outside is nice without any seams showing. So that is a feature that will happen just because all the fabric inside, all the canvas inside is being kind of like scrunched together into this corner. Now, as far as the stitching giving it tension such that it looks cracked, now I think it depends on the bag. Like, it looks like mine, I can see some of the stitching points showing, so I do see some, but very slight, not to the degree that is worrisome. So like, let's look at this one. Like, I don't know if you can see, there is some. It's maybe a little hard to see, but there is definitely some. Now, if you're seeing more on your bag, I can think of two reasons. So the first one being it's either a defect, or the second reason is it's not a defect, but it's only doing that because the newer version has a much softer canvas, and therefore each stitching that they put in, you know, it bends more, it's more flexible, but as a result also it makes this stitching, like the hole bigger or whatnot, like it expands more, if that makes sense. So I guess it really boils down to how much it bothers you. If it bothers you enough, I say, girl, go back to your LV store. If not, go to another LV store and then show them, and not only ask them whether it's normal, just tell them that you don't think it's normal that it does that, because eventually you think that the holes will get bigger or whatnot. Like, just tell them that you don't think this is acceptable, and then see what they say about that. If another manager from another store tells you the exact same story, then maybe it is true. Maybe they did change the design for a reason. In my opinion, maybe they changed the design so that it accommodates more and that the bag is not as stiff, because a lot of people do complain about this bag being too stiff at the beginning, and I did find that too, although I don't mind it, especially after I've used it for a while. I might have to agree with a lot of you, especially on Purse Forum or just like people in general, like things that I hear, that not every single item is to the same quality control as, you know, the ones that should look normal. Like, I do believe that. I think it's also because of the fact that there are so many manufacturing places, factories. You know, of course you have different countries manufacturing the same bags, and then you also have different factories themselves have different workers. So I think they still do the best to do the quality control, but it doesn't mean that it will be exactly the same just because a different person making the same thing will still be slightly different, right? So I do think that sometimes this could be a problem, and that's the reason why that when I choose a bag or when I buy a bag, I am very meticulous and very specific and very, very picky to grab the one that I feel like has the best quality, has the best stitching, the symmetry, all that stuff. Like, I do my best to do that, and even then sometimes you just, if there is a defect, then there is a defect, right? But then it's probably the same with every other company. I don't think that just because it's LV, it's a luxury company, that they will not have flaws. And even after second opinion, you were told that it's normal and that you should just use your bag, then go ahead girl, just use your bag. I think that the best sort of test is time, and also with usage, because you never know, maybe it's not a problem, it's just the design, and you will, you know, find that you will love using the bag a lot. Or if it actually starts to show more and more issues and the holes are getting bigger and getting cracking even more, then that's when you really know that it's really an issue, right? Especially if you went back already the second time and they told you that it's not a problem, then well, you gotta go back again and tell them that yes it is, right? And lastly, it's not really a question, but I did show in my previous video that I have second thoughts with my Toiletry 26 in the Epi Fuchsia. Some of you have suggested that I keep it because it is meant for a toiletry bag. I totally agree, but also a lot of you have told me that if I don't love it or if it doesn't work out for me, then to return it and to exchange it for something else, maybe a twist. So at the moment I have returned it and I just got store credit, and I will just wait until something comes along. And just to clarify, because one of my subscribers thought that it was okay to use something and to return it, absolutely not. You cannot use something and then return it at LV. It's just not possible because, well, first of all, you're not supposed to do that, and second of all, they have very, very stringent policies. They even, I don't know if you've noticed, but if you return something at LV, not only the SA that's helping you return it looks at it, but she has to ask a colleague, usually a manager or a colleague, just you know, another colleague basically, to examine the item, and they examine it, you know, properly before they, you know, if both of them say it's okay, then they will return it to you. So if you have used the item, then it will be obvious that it was used. Now in my video I did say that I had only modeled it to myself in front of the mirror, and that I tried putting things inside and then held it in front of my mirror, and found out that even just by doing that, and it was only in a span of a few minutes, that I find that my hands were getting too tired and too sore just from doing that, and therefore I knew that it wasn't for me. So that's what happened. I did not use it and I returned it promptly. Like after I made the video, which I really carefully made the video, so I put things in very carefully, very gently, and I took it out very gently, and I modeled with it very gently, and after that I literally put it back in its dust bag in the box, and off it goes to the store. So it was literally just to sort of test it. It was as if I tested it in the store. I would have done the same thing at the store, except that I was doing that at home. So just to clarify that I did not use something and returned it to LV. I did not use it. I did not take it out of the house. So just wanted to make sure you guys knew that. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A, and I hope that I was helpful in any way. If you have any more questions, leave them down below in the comment section, and I will answer them in my next Q&A. I'm Amy. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, and I will talk to you again very soon. Bye!